Today, we're looking at another creature made from Castlevania, this time Dawn of Sorrow, into a Pathfinder 2e creature, the Guillotiner. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides so that the text is more readable. And let's get to reading. The Guillotiner. These executioner fiends seek out those marked for death and represent death by mandated execution. Their bodies consist of two independent flying parts that hook and dismember their prey. Though they can sense those deemed worthy of execution, they are far from stringent in their discretion of who should die, taking sadistic pleasure in the struggle of those trying to flee its blade. We'll do the sidebar, which is permanence of death. When a particularly dangerous person is sentenced to death, a guillotiner may be conjured to provide the executioner, hoping to prevent any return of the condemned as undead or by revival. Guillotiners will offer their service indiscriminately, even to those who find their nature vile, in hopes that some threat will prove too great and a powerful soul can be consumed. So, guillotiners are 12th level creatures. They are large daemons, fiends, unholy. They have a moderate perception, dark vision, and executioner's sense, which is an imprecise sense of 60 feet, but has a longer range, vague sense. They speak demonic and have telepathy out to 100 feet. They have athletics, acrobatics, intimidation, society, religion, stealth, and survival. And a pretty good physical spread, but they're a little lacking in some of the mental faculties. So they're not particularly charismatic or intelligent, but still more than your average person. Executioner's sense, which should be above the line, but I messed up. Divine. The guillotiner has a vague sense of a creature that has been sentenced to death or marked for assassination within 1 mile, and it can attempt to track such creatures. Closer proximity heightens the sense, making it imprecise within 60 feet. Pretty straightforward. Thematic to them, not the most overpowered sense in the world. It's similar to blood scent from sharks. They have an AC of 32, fortitude of 25, reflex of 22, and will of 20. They're a little bit weaker in matters of will because of their single-minded nature. They have hit 246 hit points, as all daemons are, immune to death effects, and they have a weakness to Holy 10. They have a reaction, catch with the blade. The trigger is a creature critically fails a melee strike against the guillotiner. The effect is that the guillotiner attempts to disarm the triggering creature. If it is using an unarmed attack or is adjacent to the guillotiner, it also deals 3d8 slashing damage to the creature on a success, or double on a critical success, as well as making that creature enfeebled 1 or enfeebled 2 on a critical success. Until it recovers hit points or receives a successful administer first aid check to repair the damage, DC 32, whichever comes first. They only have a speed of 5, but a fly speed of 30 feet, so they are primarily an airborne creature. They have 2 melee attacks. They have their guillotine, which is forceful, magical, has a reach of 5 feet, and unholy, and deals 3d10 plus 12 slashing damage, and has grab. So they can spend an extra action after hitting to attempt a grapple check without multiple attack penalty. Or rather, with the same multiple attack penalty as the strike. For their secondary attack, they have wings, which are agile, have a reach of 5 feet, and are unholy, and deal 3d8 plus 12 bludgeoning damage, and don't have anything else special about them. Their primary ability is Execution, a 2-action activity with the Manipulate trait that requires them to have a creature grabbed or restrained by the guillotine. Oh no, this part is messed up. I'll fix it. The guillotiner drops its blade onto the neck of a creature attempting to behead it, and dealing 8d10 slashing damage, basic reflex DC 32. Restrained creatures suffer a -2 circumstance penalty to their reflex save, and a creature that critically fails its save or is reduced to 0 hit points by execution must succeed a DC 32 fortitude save or lose its head and be instantly slain unless it has other heads. This is a death effect. When a creature is killed or destroyed by execution, the guillotiner consumes its soul, preventing its resurrection. If a caster attempts to return to life a creature whose soul was consumed, they fail unless they succeed a DC 37 religion check. A success causes a soul to escape and the creatures return to life as normal for the spell. On a critical failure, the soul has already broken down and can never be released. Long Knife. This one has the move trait, and the Guillotiner's top and bottom halves separate, attempting to catch as many limbs and bodies as possible, dealing 9d8 slashing damage. Creatures in a 30-foot line must attempt a DC 32 reflex save. The Guillotiner cannot use Long Knife again for 1d4 rounds. On a critical success, the creatures are unaffected. On a success, the creature takes half damage and is moved 5 feet towards the middle of the line. This is forced movement and is considered pushing. While that should be inherent and make sense, I like to clarify because forced movement is a very often misinterpreted rule, so I just clarify. On a failure, they take damage and are moved, except the damage is full. They're moved 10 feet instead of 5, and they're enfeebled 1 until they regain hit points or receive a successful administer first aid check to repair the damage, whichever comes first, just like with Blade Cap. And on a critical failure, they take double damage, and they move as close to the center of the line as possible and are enfeebled too. So, pretty straightforward, not too many bells and whistles, but a powerful enemy. And one that may pop up not because daemons are prevalent in the campaign, but perhaps one of your characters, or player characters, or even an NPC has been sentenced to death. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and what you might like to see next. You can find this along with several other free creatures from Castlevania, Pokemon, and more, as well as a few other things I've worked on, all completely free on my Patreon. Check for the link below. And thanks for watching.